So y'all know I am so excited. This is the finale. This is the reunion of season 1 of Sweet Life. So y'all know I had to bring a special guest. Well, I brought my boyfriend last time. So this time I had to bring my brother because he has been letting me know that he needs to be on these reviews to say what he has to say.
No, I put you on Sweet Life and told you to review Sweet Life. That's what happened.
No, see, that's not what happened. But if that's what you want to go with, that's what we're going to go with, okay? Not really, but you know. Okay, so let's get right into it. So we already know Issa is there. We know she has something to do with the show. She's an executive producer, so she decides to pop up. Sis said, well, you know, I got some insecure stuff going on, but let me just show my face right here, right now.
She showed her face. She showed body goals. Like, Issa is just like...
Color, pink, color.
Yeah,
color.
Issa, like, yeah, walk through the door, like, first day.
So she looked good, and of course since she's a part of the show, she's been watching the show, so she had some things to say with the host, Kimmy, which I don't know if many people know who Kimmy is. I know who she is because I'm into the entertainment world, and most people don't. So I was like, you know, excited to see her face and see what she's working with, but did she really execute how we needed her to execute is the real question.
We're going to say that to the end.
Okay, so let's get into it, Sean. First thing first, when everything popped off, first of all, everybody is showing up here. It's time to get to the bottom of everything, and it's time for the reunion to start. So first thing first, what we get into is, can we ask them like, okay, how did they think they looked on the show?
Yeah. So
first person that responded was Bree, and Bree was like, well, I don't like how I looked more stupid than I actually am.
Because all she say is period.
My thing is, Bree, once we found out you was from Missouri, we ain't have high hopes for you, sis.
She's a pretty girl, though.
Exactly. You can tell she's used to pretty privilege. So she may not have it. You know what? I'm not even going to say Bree is slow. I'm not going to say Bree is dumb. I'm not going to say any of those things because Bree have sense. Bree is just inconsistent with her sense. At one moment she got it, the next moment she don't, and it throws me. But I'm glad she said that. So okay, she said she got some sense. I hope next season she shows us because she didn't this season.
I think Bree is very smart, and I think it comes off that she's smart. I think she's just
dingy,
and dickmatized. I think she's just boy crazy.
That could be it. That could be
a smart girl, and she just comes off a little. She comes off a little naive when it comes to like dudes. I think that's what it is.
She's easily impressed. I always say this. I've been saying this for the longest. She's easily impressed by the little things that these guys give her, and it's like, well, Bree, that's the bare minimum. Like that's the basic. But like you said, I wouldn't say she was quote unquote looked stupid or was stupid. She just looked enigmatized, like you said.
She got played on TV on 4K.
She let him play. And it's like, out of everybody, you let Jordan play you? Girl. But then moving along, PJ comes in. He say, well, he didn't know that he was so monotone on the show. Like, his voice was monotone. And the first thing that came to my mind when he said that was, wait, the only thing you noticed on the show is that you was monotone. You didn't notice that you came off as a fuckboy. You ain't noticed that you was disrespecting and trying everybody. I ain't even gonna say disrespecting and trying everybody, but you just wasn't, you came off as the F-boy of this show, but you weren't about how monotone you sound. Boy, please.
I ain't even gonna call him the F-boy of the show. I think he was lame. He came off as like, the moves he was making was very like that was lame, bro. Like.
That was lame. That was F-boy. That was F-boy of you. That was every move that he made that just made me be like, ugh. It was an F-boy move.
I will say though, the reunion, he said some things, and it's like, okay, PJ, I see.
Okay, well, let's get. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We gotta break it down. We gotta start from the beginning. We're gonna get to the end. Okay. So PJ came in, and he said that, and then Cheryl says that she didn't like how a lot of people kept saying like, oh, they ready for her and Gerald to get married. And it's like, and they're, you know, they young, they got together in school and they just kind of graduated low key, but not really. They got some time out. So they've been together for 8-9 years. They got together in high school. So people were saying like, oh, well, y'all so cute. Yeah, when are you guys going to get married? And all of this stuff. And it's like, I ain't gonna lie. I was one of them people. And then not so much that y'all need to get married now, but I'm excited for when you guys do get married. Like I was one of those people because I liked them in the beginning. When they first showed them, I was like, oh, they're so cute. They doing these things. Like it was just very, very cute to see like this couple doing this. And plus they're the only two like main characters that were couples. So we seen a lot of their vibes together more than, you know, the other two couples. My thing is Cheryl. We knew nothing that you was even ready to be married. Like, she brought that up on the show. She said that. She said, literally the first episode, when we was introduced to them, and she brought up that she was ready to get married to him. And she said by that 10-year mark, she should be married to him. She said that out her mouth.
If the math, then that's 2 more years from now.
That was 2 years when they was recording the show. They in their 9th year. That means next year, you should be wanting to get married now. You said that out your own mouth. So now all of a sudden it's a problem that everybody else that's watching the show saying it?
Yeah.
Hypocritical.
I think that her coming off on that standpoint was her trying to like protect the pace that they're going at now, because she had to find something, because clearly she wants to be married. So that's her excuse of saying like, oh, I didn't really want this, like like the 8-year thing. Mind you, they are same age. We all 20, 26, 27 around there. We've been out of school like 4-5 years now. That's
2017 to now.
Yeah, like been out of high school longer than that. So
right.
If that's the excuse, by all means, that's y'all excuse. But
so moving on, then Kimmy started asking about the cup. Oh no, she brought up the parents. She was like, you know, she brought up how the parents was cool. I want to know, who was your favorite parent that you saw on the show?
My favorite parent, I'm not even gonna lie, my favorite parent is between Jordan's mom and PJ's mom. Only because I see, you know my mama. I see
your mama is PJ mama. Like it's a balance of both, because she gonna let you have it and she gonna keep it real and she gonna cut you out. So it's like, yeah, you're right. It's a balance.
Who parent you see yourself, your mama now?
I don't see none of them like, I don't see my mama like none of them, because my mama, I don't know, my mama just was like, granted, I like all of it. Maybe my mama is like Amanda mom. Like, you know how Amanda mom came in at the house and was like, oh, you need to put this there, you should put this here, you should do this to that. Like, that is my mama. Like, she feel like she have to control what I got going on. It's like, baby, be lucky you're invited. Yeah. Like, no. I got this over here. I did this. You may have helped me, but I did this. I don't need you with this. Like, you know, but you gotta love the parents.
And I think one of the great things about Sweet Life is the fact that you see yourself and you see like people you know in bits and pieces of everybody. Like, it's so relatable in that sense. Like even Ty's story, like her dad being incarcerated and stuff like that. Like those were some of my favorite moments on the show. Specifically because like when you have that sort of like relationship where you're like dealing with somebody that's incarcerated, those phone calls coming out of the blue right when you need them the most, and then it's happening to happen like that, they really do that's like a game mood changer like for your day. Like so I saw like that emotion was like that was some of the best moments from her and her dad just talking.
Yeah, they even showed on the actual Instagram, they added behind this a clip that they didn't put in the show of her dad actually calling her on the show, and they filmed it, and it was just so sentimental and cute. And you can tell like even though he hasn't met Jalen, and her and Jalen been together, like he knew Jalen, like they were cool, like he was up in Jalen. Jalen was, making sure he was positive. I love that clip. It's like some clips that they're showing us now. I'm like, why didn't this make the show?
Like how y'all put that on the cutting room floor? Like that was the yeah. Like that was the good.
That was the that we needed, that little extra.
Yeah.
So after all that happened, we get into the couples. Now, Bebe wanna come in and he wanna say his some stuff before he leave.
Yeah.
You wanna sit next to me?
You want to talk about?
We're going to talk about the couples. Okay, so the first couple that they brought up was Amanda and Rob. Come over, son. So they brought up Amanda and Rob, and just talking about how the couples
Y'all look good.
just showing up, showing how the couples was perceived, and Amanda and Rob went first. So, and then it was Amanda and Rob, of course, Tyler and Jalen, and then Cheryl and Gerald. So, who was y'all favorite couples? I want to go first. So, mine was, of course, Jalen and Ty. Like, I love Jalen and Ty. Like, I just love their relationship. I love how Jalen show like he a man. Like, he a man. So they kind of like was my favorite. Every time I seen him, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was a fan of Jalen and Ty. I mean, the other ones, I was annoyed. What's the name though?
Gerald and Cheryl.
Gerald and Cheryl. Ooh, they just pissed me off.
Oh.
Did you like Gerald and Cheryl?
You still fuck Gerald and Cheryl.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, what's going on? Damn.
You still fuck them.
They just lying. They just be lying for each other though. At least they be lying for each other. But damn.
I'm gonna stick beside.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Clearly. Gosh.
Who was your favorite?
I gotta be between Amanda and Rob and Ty and Jalen. Only because like I really just fuck with Amanda and Rob vibe. I feel like they didn't have like they probably had scenes that were also deleted, but I definitely think like their couple comes off like very strong, very united. They almost remind me of like a J and B situation. Like they kind of like they don't speak on much, but like they like they're a unit. They like real in that sense.
I was just wondering why they were sitting so far.
Oh, I think that was a production thing.
Had to be, because why would you be so far?
Because they brought on the main cast first, and then they brought in the extras, which Jalen and Rob and them were extras. So that's probably why. Which still they should have switched it up.
Why wasn't Cheryl an extra?
No, Gerald should have been an extra. Cheryl brought more energy than Gerald did. But wait, before we even dig deep into that, I just wanted to before we even dig deep into that, huh? All right.
Funny.
Love you, baby. But before we even get into all of that, I just want to say that I love Cheryl and Gerald from in the beginning. First episode, second episode, low-key the third episode, like I love them. Like
they seemed unproblematic.
They just enjoying each other. They enjoying their relationship. Like that's what they gave us. Once all the other stuff popped off and we really dove into because we wasn't seeing Cheryl and Gerald that much. So the moment that they did give us that time of them together or them on the scene, they definitely took all of that away.
And I will preface this only because Ty, I don't know whenever we post this, but Ty, she was on live yesterday and she did say her and Cheryl are like genuine friends now. So I mean no disrespect to Cheryl, but just like as a viewer, her and Gerald, they just like I just can't get with it. Yeah, no matter what they made up and did, like I just can't get with it as a viewer. Like they just seem really inauthentic.
Yeah, I just as much as I want to like them and wanted to like them, because I was even saying like, damn, I could not see me as Cheryl, but I can see certain things. Like I'm like, oh okay, Cheryl, I get that. I feel like, but then once happened, I was like, yeah, no. So let's move on. Then they bring up. So after the couples, they decide to bring up the singles, which was technically from the main cast was only Bree and Jordan. Now, if you know and you watch the show or if you watch my recaps, I do not like Jordan at the fuck all. Period. Like from that, because I really was like, I had hope for Jordan. So Jordan didn't really say much about him being a single on the show, but we seen how everything played out. We see how he operates. So it really didn't matter what he said. One, he is over. He claimed that he like trying to be a playboy, but then at one moment he said he's trying to work on himself. But and I don't even think that's what it is. I think when it comes to Bree, he want to work on himself. But then again, you want to go on blind dates with other people like the girl Jade. Inconsistent, you're not being truthful. If you don't like Bree, just say that. But then at one moment, you like Bree, you love Bree, all this stuff about Bree, but you don't want to be with Bree. Just say you don't want to be with Bree, and that would just be it.
The crazy part about it is I think when he says he loved Bree, he genuinely means it. He don't mean he loved her as a friend, because clearly he loves her as a friend. I think he genuinely loves Bree. Like he has like strong connection and love with her. So
as a friend.
No, I think he loves Bree. Like, I think he loves her.
As a friend.
No, I think he loves her. And the thing is, like, we talked about this before, like with guys, like you want to have everything together before you settle down or get with somebody that you really, really like vibe with. And I feel like that's what his issue is with Bree. Like, no matter how successful Hypeland is, no matter how successful he is in life, like he just doesn't feel like he's ready to go all in with her because he doesn't want it to mess up.
No, are you crazy? How can he feel that way about Bree when he been subtly saying that Bree got going on for himself? Granted, he never said that verbatim, but every time it was brought up in a situation, he was referencing it to Bree. So no, he feel like Bree ain't got shit going for himself, so he don't want to be with Bree as much as he love her. He feel like she's not enough. That's why when he met the girl Jade, he was ready to drop everything right then and there for her. Because he felt like Bree had something, the girl Jade had something going for herself, from her Porsche to her house and to her job and to her OnlyFans. But then compare Jade to Bree, like it's like, oh, Bree, you're nothing. So I love you. I do, and I do anything for you, but I can't be with you.
Jordan and Jade was never gonna work because he said he want a busy girl, but that ain't what he want.
Oh,
he wants somebody like Bree. He wants somebody that he gonna have to like. I don't want to say it's gonna be
somebody who needs him. Bree is somebody like he wants somebody that would need him. Jay not somebody that would need him. Bree is, but he in his mind he don't want a Bree. That boy said that. He said that.
That's what he said in his mind. That's what it came out his mouth. But I'm reading deeper. And that boy heart, he wants. In his heart, he won't Bree.
And then since we own the topic of Bree and she's the single, she also brought up how, she's a private person, but she also said that, she was trying to show that she's like, she's dating around and she's hoeing out her 20s. And I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Hoe out your 20s, go on all the dates you can, meet all the niggas you can, because at the end of the day, your Prince Charming, he gonna come, sis, very, very soon. And when he come, you gonna be all in. And that's why I'm like, I'm happy that she said that, but that's not what it looked like on the show. You went on 3 dates. I would have rather the whole season been Bree going on dates than Bree being obsessed with Jordan.
Well, I think I like the fact that I wish we actually saw more of the singles, like just dating, besides like just Bree, because like everybody ain't in a relationship, especially like successful people that's on the grind, like everybody not in a relationship. So I would have felt like that would have showed us a little bit just more realism. A lot of people would have been able to connect with that. But I still feel like Bree in her last like spiral of dates towards the end of the series, like, here's the thing, and this is gonna sound crazy. I honestly think Bree can do without Jordan, but I don't think Jordan can do without Bree. I think he really genuinely vibes with that girl. And I swear, like Bree and her dates, they were intentional. Like they were very like, she was genuinely trying to get to know people. Jordan was never trying to get to know Jade. I'm telling you, because he wants Bree. Bree was actually willing to go look and try to meet new people. And I feel like I don't care, that's how I feel.
Bree wasn't going out to look. Let me tell you the type of girl Bree is. Bree is the type of girl that literally dates in close proximities of her friends or mutual friends because Bree is scared to go out of that circle. Everybody that Bree was talking to on this show was people that she met, except that, of course, that one boy that was on Instagram. But I'm pretty sure she probably knew him before saying that, oh, she slid her DMs. I feel like she probably knew him before that, but if she didn't, then I'm dead ass wrong, and I can admit when I'm wrong. But that other boy who she claimed she liked on the trip was a friend in a circle. That's why Ty didn't want her to date her. Jordan, friend of the circle. We know she had a little crush on PJ. They didn't really dive into it. It was like real quick, we're out. PJ was in the circle. Like, Bree dates in her friend group because she's scared to go out at the end of the day. So no, I'm not going for that. Bree is scared. Jordan don't want her for real. Jordan, like I said, Jordan wants her around, yes, because she's easy access, but he do not want her. Don't be fooled. He don't want her. And he, honestly, if I'm being honest, he don't deserve her. Like, Jordan, he's not worth the Bree, if we being honest. Like, he's so lame. He's a goof. I'm not going to say goof because it's, it's a bad term. But he's a lame. And other than the money, like, in your business, what else do you have to offer? Because you clearly a man child. You get angry at the littlest thing. You need therapy. So, and you run to your mama for everything, and it's nothing wrong with that. Run to your mama like you should, because if your mama gonna help you, your mama gonna help you. But it's like the little stuff that he do run to his mama about, he don't sit and think about it for himself first. So it's like Bree can do way better than him. I think so that's my stance on that.
I agree with you. I still think he love her, but Bree, you're right. And you're saying Bree.
Yes, I'm not saying he don't, but he love her as a friend.
Okay, we're gonna have to agree to disagree.
Okay, well, then that's that.
It was a midnight game slide.
So moving on, we get into they bring Rebecca and Kofi finally onto the table with everybody else.
Them two, honestly, two of my their reactions are two of my like favorite reactions into the show. Like I love Becky towards the end of the show. Beginning of the show, especially after she tried my dog Myami, wasn't feeling her like that, but towards the end you could literally see like she's a genuine friend. But this is where you find out in the show that all of them aren't as close knit. It's a big group, everybody's closer to different people, and you're gonna ride for the people that you're closest with.
Yeah, yeah, Gerald brought the guys, Ty brought the girls. They all clashed and came together, only for them to end up separating at the end. I think that's how everything goes. I think Gerald is the person that probably put in everybody, but Gerald probably don't know everybody. So he probably put in Ty put in her people, Gerald put in her people. They had the production meeting to see, or the interviews to see who would be the best fit on the show, and that's how it came. But they are split. They are a naturally split group that's trying to come as one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
granted, Ty low-key probably know everybody too, even the boys, but she's just closer to the girls. Because that's what she brought in.
She explained that yesterday on her live. Like that's how it happened. Like PJ and Jordan, they were the ones first approached for the show, and then they brought in Ty, and then that's how everything happened.
What?
And then they did like interviews.
Wait, was it Gerald?
I know it was Jordan and somebody else. I want to say it was PJ. I want to say.
Wow, that's good to know. No, it really is good to know, because now it makes sense why maybe they approached Jordan first, and probably Jordan approached. I don't know. I gotta dig more into that story, because that just don't sound right. And if it is right, that just makes so much sense why it looks like PJ is scared of Jordan for some reason. Not so much scared, but it's like Jordan to be like, shut up, bro. And he'll just be like, bro, don't tell me to shut up. No, nigga, don't tell me to shut up. Like his reactions to stuff, the way it looks like Jordan is downplaying him as a man, like it just don't come off right. Like it seems like he's scared of Jordan, and he may not be, but
yeah. The winner of the show though is Kofi. His reactions to everything.
Yeah, it's so crazy because Kofi ain't saying nothing on the show.
He ain't said nothing on the show.
But his reactions made the show, because Kofi reactions was all of our reactions when we seen certain things, and it's like, okay, well, we not tripping, because Kofi face is saying everything that we needed to say.
Yeah, literally.
And then Rebecca, like you said, the reunion made me kind of, she kind of swayed herself, because she did a lot of apologizing, she did a lot of owning up, and I can respect that wholeheartedly. If you're gonna own up to what you did that you knew was dead wrong, by all means.
More lying on the reunion.
Huh?
She did some more lying on the reunion. It was some more lying.
Yeah, but so let's get into it, right? So now that Rebecca and Kofi and everybody here is in a circle, we get into the actual foursome of everybody. I mean, not everybody, but which was PJ, Jordan, Bree, and Rebecca. Because doing this season, this show, it seems like they were all sharing each other. Did it not?
It did.
It looked like they all were sharing each other. It looked like, so it seemed like Rebecca and PJ was together, then Bree and Jordan was together. Then it seemed like Bree and PJ was about to be together, and then what's the girl name? Rebecca and Jordan did they little dun daughter together. Let's get into this.
That's a recipe for a disaster in a friendship.
It clearly was a disaster, but it just looked like they all was sharing each other, because they all had some parts in each other. Granted, PJ and Bree did not go into each other with each other full throttle. If they had the opportunity, they would have. I really feel like PJ I feel like PJ like Brie. I truly believe that PJ like Brie, but PJ did not take it there because if Brie and Jordan had their little thing going on, but he would have took it there. I'm telling you, Jordan started a lot of stuff for PJ. But this Jordan.
Something.
Huh?
That you might be on to something.
I'm telling you, even people in the comments, let us know in the comments. Do y'all think that PJ like Brie? I really think PJ like Brie.
Like to this day.
If he had the chance, he'll make a move. If he had the chance, I feel like he'll make a move.
Interesting.
But Jordan and the Rebecca thing. So it was a whole big love. The talk of the town when Jordan was putting out the statement that him and Rebecca had something going on. The coconut, going in the coconut, the little story he was telling. The story.
Yeah.
The story. So of course, the way he made it seem, it's like they did the nasty.
They did what they had to do, the boom, boom, boom.
And it was just that. So the way he put it the whole time, I'm like, okay, well, they had sex and they didn't pursue anything afterwards.
And Jalen stated that on the show. Everybody thought they had sex based off watching it back. Like that's what it came off as.
So that's how he made it seem, because he even made movements. Only for us to find out, baby, you ate the cat. And that's that. But you try to that's what I'm telling you, this is how you know Jordan's so lame. Like, he's so lame that he has to put himself and tell stories to put himself way more up than what he actually is. Baby, you can't even hit these girls for real. But you around here acting how you acting? How dare you, sir? You're a pussy eater. You're a cat eater. You're not a hitter. You're not a hitter and quitter. You're an eater and get away from it.
Yeah, that situation was lame. And then I feel like for them to be friends, on top of all of that, like you knew what you was doing when you said that, because the literal representation that everybody else got from that was that y'all had sex. So as
everybody in the world thought that.
Like to even do that to PJ, your brother, like to make it seem like it was was something that it wasn't, to stop him from like going where he wanted to go with this girl, that was messed up.
And I think that, go.
I would say disrespectful to Becky for the simple fact that if y'all didn't really do that and you telling on national television, like she literally said, it's like you playing with my reputation at this point. That's lame nigga behavior. Like you just don't do stuff like that if that's not what happened. Like why lie on the cat? Like you didn't.
Cause he ain't getting on for real. That's why he lying on it. And I'm so glad that Rebecca came to clear her name. Like, boy, you ain't put your look in me. How dare what? And ever since, and it's so crazy because I feel like ever since Jordan said that to PJ and Cheryl, I feel like that was the moment that PJ didn't want to deal with Rebecca no more. I feel like because ever since that happened, PJ, that's when he started acting funny, and that's when the whole shit started happening with Myami. He bringing Myami in, even though like he probably did like her, but when Jordan told that story, he was like, "Damn, I don't want to get sloppy seconds." I'm pretty sure he was like, "I don't want to get sloppy seconds," and he started acting real funny towards Rebecca.
Yeah, because I mean, like in the back of your head, like how could you genuinely move forward in a relationship with somebody that you into, and in the back of your head, all you thinking about is the lime and the coconut? Like there's no way. But the crazy part is their foursome turned into a foursome again. Bring in my girl.
Now it's time to bring in your girl.
Y'all know we gonna rep from Myami. I liked her just off her name from day one. I was like, Myami, yeah, okay. Like she came to the reunion to handle business. She came with an agenda and she came out the gate angry, laid them out one by one, just going down the line.
So we all know the whole Palm Springs trip was the biggest scandal of the entire season when PJ came with the McLaren that, they talked about like, why did PJ bring that McLaren if like he didn't need to? And I'm the same way. What you drive a Honda, and ain't nothing wrong with driving your Honda, but if you can save money to not be driving a Honda and not put it towards renting a McLaren, I would think that's what you would do. Especially if this not your day. Like, this not your time to, do that much.
I'ma agree. I wasn't on PJ's side at first, but when he gave his explanation, PJ said some real stuff. We are on vacation. Does the house that we stay at look like the house you stay at back home? No. Did you rent a car? Yes, it happened to be a Toyota. I love myself, so I'm gonna rent myself a McLaren. That's that on that. It's self-love. Like, I can't even get mad at his explanation. He is on vacation. Everybody's living a lifestyle they don't live. In fact, the house matched the car, if we're being honest. That looked like the type of car that'll pull up in there. I can't be mad at that. I'm not mad at PJ for renting the McLaren no more. That's not lame no more. He wanted to show himself some love. I vibe with it.
The house that was rented was for Amanda's birthday, not PJ's birthday celebration. So yes, Amanda should splurge on a house that she's going to be staying in for a week. Why I'm for the splurge on a McLaren that I'm not even for to be driving for the weekend? I'm going to be in the house the whole time. So all I'm doing is pulling up and it's on camera for a second. Especially if it's not, but I guess it's in his budget if he got it.
Exactly.
But it's not matching the Honda that he's driving. So that's all I'm saying. If you want to spend, listen, I ain't penny watching, I ain't money watching, I ain't pocket watching. But it look like you ain't got it. But if you got it and you want to spend it on like that, by all means, it just didn't make sense. And then on top of that, to me,
to you, to him, it made all the sense in the world. And it make all the sense in the world to me now too.
But that's because that's something you would do. Y'all, that is something Sean would do. But Sean, you would do it. He would definitely rent out a expensive car just for a weekend trip. And it's like, and I'm Amanda in there. I'm like, Sean, who told you to get that? Now take me for a drive, but who told you to bring that?
Let me get my uncle with.
Take me a picture right here while I'm sitting on the hood.
Take me a picture about the car.
Take me a picture about the hood. But why would you bring that on my birthday trip? That made no sense. But I mean, eventually, of course, that's something I get over. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It just did not make sense at the moment. And then I think what made the situation worse with him bringing it is he brought a bitch. And not to call Myami a bitch by any means, because that's some girl. She was 10 toes down and she held her own. And I love her for that. But then you decide to bring another girl to somebody else's celebration. Now, let's be clear. I don't have a problem with Myami coming because, like, if somebody brings somebody to my stuff, I don't mind. But please let me know. That's all you got to do. I don't mind it at all. It won't bother me. Once I know you coming here with good vibes, it will want, girl, come on. Let's do what we got to do. You come with the girls. We for to go over here, have girl talk. We for to have a vibe, and that's what it is. But that's not what happened with Myami.
That was not the case, though.
That was not the case. And I'm glad that Myami came with her agenda and to clear the room, as she should. Because she was disrespected on national TV.
So, Myami came in, out the gate. She let them know they were very disrespectful, very mean, bitter ass Becky, angry ass Amanda, bring it around town ass Brie. Like, what? I was just like, you could tell she practiced that. She had them notes written before she got there. But
even if she didn't, and even if she did, she executed it well. And she ain't even stutter not a bit.
This is the prime time when I feel like the theme of the show is accountability. They love that word, accountability. And I feel like for once, especially on the girls' end of things, they were held accountable for the way they treated Myami on national television. That was, the way they treated her was lame as hell. Like, there was no right in that situation. And if anybody was supposed to be mad, it should have been Amanda. Nobody else had the right to be mad but Amanda because it was her birthday trip. So all the other antics was just like, watching it, I was just like crazy. Like, why are y'all being so disrespectful? And then I'm not even gonna put it like this, like go there like that, but like Myami's a dark-skinned girl, and it seemed like the mean ones were just like lighter-skinned black girls. That's how I interpreted it. Like, it just seemed like that was just added extra fuel to the fire to me. Like, y'all coming down on this dark-skinned girl. She just coming in here trying to have a good time, brought flowers to Amanda, made a genuine effort to just like show love because she knew the situation was already awkward and weird. And then for her to just get dogged like that for a whole weekend, I ain't vibe with it.
I actually honestly didn't. The whole light skin, dark skin thing totally like missed my mind. Like I didn't even take it that way, only because Amanda had the same, angry as Amanda had the same energy towards Myami, and I get it. Yes, Amanda should have been the only one that was disappointed, but the disappointment should not have been at Myami. It still should have been at PJ. It don't matter how mad she was. Especially, like I said, when Myami came with good energy, the first thing she did was make sure she saw Amanda and handed Amanda flowers because she already knew the situation was going to be awkward. I'm pretty sure she knew that. She had to know that. So if you knew that, okay, you're going to come with good fucking vibes. And that's what she did. But for Amanda to come with the energy that she did, first she did come towards PJ with it. But then after she came towards PJ with it and Amanda gave her the flowers and, waving a white flag, Amanda still was going hard on Myami. And then at that point, it made no sense because you already, if anything, if you was that upset, tell her, nah, she can't stay here. Like, if you're going to be a real bitch about it. Like, nah, I'm sorry, she can't stay here. Can you, like, you got to either take her back home or she got to Uber or she got to call somebody to get her. Like, if you are that upset about it. But instead of doing that, you want to be with Rebecca and keep complaining and keep talking about the girl and find little things here, find little things there that she's not even doing, but for you to, complain about. And that's what I didn't like. And it's like, at some point, you got to stop being mad at the girl and be mad at the real problem, which was PJ. She, towards the ending of that scene, Amanda was not yelling at PJ. Rebecca was not yelling at PJ. Even when he came over, they still was going hard on who? Myami. So no, I don't like that. And I'm not vouching for Amanda. I don't care how mad Amanda claims she was. You was mad at the wrong person. Period.
Yeah. I think we can all agree they was all mad at the wrong person.
But what we can respect is that they did. Well, I ain't even hear Rebecca. Amanda take no accountability for how she was acting towards.
Yeah. Amanda took.
I said
what I said the first time.
And that's her energy. And that's her energy. Like, girl. But Rebecca, she took her accountability. She apologized to Myami.
You have but to apologize when you caught in 4K.
Yeah, she admitted to the fact that she said something and she lied when Myami asked her about it. So like I always say, I'm going to respect a person that's going to take the accountability for what they did. And then that's when Bree was like, oh, well, for everyone to come off to make it seem like we had no energy towards PJ, that was wrong because we did. No, Bree. You had that energy towards PJ. And I could admit she did because even at that legacy table event, Bree had all the smoke for PJ. So that's how I knew Bree was really mad at PJ. It was Rebecca that was the problem. And Myami said it. No, you're right, Bree. Like, you wasn't the problem. It was more so Rebecca. And that's who it was. So Rebecca started taking accountability. But then that's when Ty said, oh, then that's when they all start arguing with PJ. And PJ could not get a word in. He could not. And that's what I didn't like either. Like, if y'all claiming and saying that PJ is the person responsible, one, let him apologize and let him say what he got to say, because y'all said what y'all had to say. I need to hear what he got to say, because maybe it was something that was going to be said from PJ that we couldn't hear because y'all wasn't letting him talk.
No matter how right or wrong his reasoning might have been, you have to give somebody the time to speak like their thoughts, like to get that out, and they didn't. But that's honestly how it is when you arguing, like a guy arguing with like a whole side of girls. He was never gonna get a word in. Like as much as we wanted him to, he was never gonna get his point across because they already had their mind made up.
As much as I don't like PJ, that wasn't fair. And then that's when Ty came in and said, well, once again, she brings up the accountability word and she brings up apologizing. He's like, that's what I'm trying to do. Well, she's like, well, you need to, because all these death threats and all these things was, going to my friend. Basically, Rebecca was getting death threats about how she acted towards Myami. Baby Ty, I love you. You know I do, girl. Sis, I love you. But then was Rebecca actions, not PJ. So and naturally we know people are crazy. So whoever is sending death threats to that girl from this show, y'all are sick. Y'all are very sick and y'all is dead ass wrong. But also Rebecca is dead ass wrong because Rebecca actions were Rebecca actions. They were not PJ's actions. Yes, PJ may have, made her get a little, riled up and a little angry, but PJ did not put a gun to her head and say, act this way towards Myami. Let's be very clear. So them death threats are coming from the actions that Rebecca did from herself, not from what anybody else did. So I don't think it's right for them to blame PJ for that.
Correct. PJ created the situation, but he did not create everybody's individual actions to how they responded to the situation. That's all on them. So that was her energy. Like, you can't get mad looking back at yourself and seeing how you reacted when you spoke those words. You were the mean girl. So like, that was you. That was all you. That was not PJ. Because she could have very much, which probably would have fucked PJ up more, is if she opened up and just accepted Myami to begin with. Like, oh, you want to bring a bitch? Like, cool. Now she gonna be with me the whole weekend. You're not even gonna have a good time because I'm gonna make sure like you feel awkward in this situation. You feel me?
And I love Myami being there as well because Myami at a reunion as well because she brought up a lot of stuff. One, she brought up how her and PJ, which we kind of knew from the beginning because she said they were just friends, and she was like, well, damn, PJ, I knew you for over a decade and you did not protect me in this situation. So no, I'm not accepting your apology, as she shouldn't. We know that they knew each other for over a decade and he acted that way. Hell no, I can't imagine me and you going into a situation like that. Me and you been close for damn near the same amount of time, and you don't stand up for me, and you brought me into this situation. Hell yeah, nigga, I can't fuck with you no more.
Yeah.
Cause clearly you don't make me safe in no situation, and I'm a woman, and you a man. At the end of the day, you as a man, you supposed to be a protector, and you did not protect me, and you brought me into this. So yeah, nah.
Brought her into a hostile situation that he already knew about beforehand. Like, cause that could have definitely went left. Like, if they would have jumped that girl, that would have been on PJ.
It's on PJ anyways. That's the thing. Like, no matter what scenario or situation or actions would have happened, it would have been on PJ. It is on PJ. But after everybody was saying their piece, Jordan had something to say, and he was basically telling PJ to shut up. And he had to say his little spiel on the situation. And I'm just confused because, first of all, Jordan, this situation has nothing to do with you. You need to worry about what you got going on with Bree over there, not what Myami and PJ and Rebecca and Amanda and everybody else got going on. So it pissed me off that they let Jordan talk for so much. They let him talk more than they let PJ talk. So PJ brought it to their attention. They was like, it's so crazy that now all the heat is on me, and it's time for the heat to be on Jordan. It's like nobody has that same energy, but everybody on the tech about me. And I kind of agree because, first of all, Jordan shouldn't even be talking. And Jordan really told him, Sean, yeah, shut up, because you know you sound crazy. Like, you know how he be talking.
You've been talking all this time. Yeah, my nigga, because it's my storyline now. Like, this storyline is me. This ain't Hypeland, this is me. This is my storyline. Like, what? Exactly.
That was so crazy. Okay.
I think as a viewer, everybody can agree, there's a weird dynamic between the Wood and the girls as far as like it goes to holding Jordan, like, I don't even want to say accountable, but there's just like, there's a pedestal almost that he's on, that like the smoke that the other guys get in the Wood, Jordan does not get. And I think there needs to be a deeper dive into that, because even Thailand, like, I guess you could consider her like one of the, like the leader of the girls. Like, even she, like, people let Ty know like what the fuck going on. Like, that it's not on the other side for Jordan, and that's really weird. That's weird.
Well, we all know why it's like that. That's that money, that stature. They feel like he's up and above, but he's still dumb as hell.
Chains. It's the chains for me.
But that ain't all Myami left us with at the reunion either.
Because he's to give her a permanent spot on the show.
I don't know, because I think as much as we like Myami, I don't see her actually being a good character on the show, because what would she have to offer other than, you know, trying to befriend everybody? It can work, but how it works, it'll be hard to gravitate to. But I mean, we'll see. But they do need to get rid of Gerald.
If Gerald goes, Cheryl gotta go with him. I'm sorry.
Gerald is boring. Cheryl, as much as like Cheryl need to go too, but Cheryl gonna bring the entertainment. Now that we know her, the type of person she is, we don't like her, she can be the villain, so she will be entertaining enough to be the villain. So as far as TV goes, she can be on the show for that. Gerald, he has no point. Amanda as well, no point. If you really think about it, you see Amanda was quiet the whole reunion because she had nothing to offer us.
She was too busy buying back the block.
And that's fine. I love that. Baby, I want to buy black too. But you ain't giving me nothing, so you can go. Sorry.
Amanda, one of my favorite people, and I honestly think this is what I go back to. Like, you can see yourself in the different people. I like boys and girls. I see a little bit of myself in Amanda. Like, just how genuine she is about her friendships. Like, that's the same way I am. Like,
that is not genuine. That is petty. You talking about because she don't want anybody else. You is like that. You don't want anybody else around your friends. That is childish. Please, girl, boy, please.
You right.
But what also Myami dropped on us was that she was talking to somebody else on the cast, which was the guy, and who ends up to be who? Sean?
Jordan.
He's so slimy, and the reason why I say he's slimy is because even though PJ and Myami was just friends, they never did anything. It's the simple fact that we all assumed that they was together. And it's the simple fact that we all just, we thought there was a thing. Like, this is the whole reason Rebecca is snapping, because she assumes that PJ and Myami is a thing. So for Jordan to follow up and try to talk to her, invite her to her house, feed her, kiss on her.
This is all behind PJ's back. PJ knows nothing about this. PJ found out on the reunion.
PJ is a lost dog, and that's how I know Jordan do not respect PJ as a friend, because as a friend, you wouldn't have felt the need to hide that. And if you know me and Myami is cool, even though we ain't cool no more, you knew we was cool. You felt like you didn't have to tell me that as my friend. Like, oh, I'm talking to Myami, like I invited her over to my house, like we did, a little hee ha ha. Like, you didn't feel like you didn't have to tell me that as a friend. Jordan do not respect PJ, and it has shown so many times. Like, PJ, this whole reunion, PJ was a lost fucking puppy. He knew fucking nothing. He couldn't say nothing. It was a mess. It was truly a mess.
The winner of the reunion, Myami, the MVP.
Myami did come and she did what she had to do, and I love that for her. But we gotta move on.
And just like they moved her on. All right, Myami, you can go.
You can go now. Thank you for being here. Okay. So now we getting, towards the ending of the show, of course, and this is where, we start talking a lot about the actual podcast and everything that went down towards the last 2-3 episodes of the show, which was like mind-blowing for everybody, how the whole situation went down. Before we even get into that, I just want to say the whole situation that happened with Myami and Jordan and PJ and Bree, mainly Bree and PJ, I feel like they could have dug deep more. Like, they didn't talk about it enough, the situation enough, because I feel like a lot happened between Bree and Jordan that was shown on the show, and they didn't really dig deep. Like, they didn't get to the bottom of why, even though he did not say it, why Jordan feel like Bree didn't have nothing going for herself. Why they, you brought up how there was low-key, attacking the Pateri at the event. Like, it was just so much they could have, why he decided to bring Jade last minute to the event. Like, I feel like it was more that could have been said and done to make this reunion longer that I was thinking about. And I'm like, well, damn, why they ain't hit on this? Why they ain't hit on that?
Definitely needed like a 2-hour reunion, like 2 episodes.
1:30. They could have did 1:30.
They could did 1:30. Like, we needed a little bit more, because there were some things that were definitely skipped over. For instance, like, I would have loved to really hear about the reason, him explaining his reason to Bree in person in front of everybody about the whole she's not doing enough situation. That would have been a great explainer to like just finally leave that all out on the table.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And even at one point, Cammy brought up like, maybe this is something you guys can talk about after the reunion. And I'm like, no, this is the point of the reunion, to talk about everything right now, right here.
Because I'm invested. I want to know too.
Exactly. Ain't no behind the scenes when you doing reality TV, baby. We don't know behind the scenes. After this.
Ain't no after this. After this is me waiting to the next season. I want to know now.
exactly about time the next season, y'all gonna be cutting stuff out again. So it's like, no, we need to get it all out on the table right now. But let's get into the podcast since we're talking about on the table. Now, of course, they did a lot with the whole situation that happened with the podcast. They did a whole lot.
So when you get to the podcast, I think it was so interesting how Cammy led into that conversation about just how privilege. We've heard so much about privilege in the past year, but it's always been like white privilege. But to actually acknowledge and understand the fact that even in the Black community, there are certain levels of privilege and how to get deeper into that. I thought it was the perfect way to go into the whole podcast situation, because that's literally what Jalen was trying to say. Cammy might have said it more succinctly and like less passionately, but that was all he was trying to say. So PJ, the reunion, honestly, I knew it was going downhill from when they got here, because you could feel the tension in the room as far as it got to the podcast. And Rob, he doesn't speak much on the show, but when he does speak, he says some good stuff. He started off that conversation like with the bang, like where was the smoke? Gerald, where was it?
We then find out. Well, first, Cammy asked them, asked Gerald, I should say, what was his breaking point? What did he think the breaking point was at the with the topic? And he said, well, basically it was just both of them with their reactions and their anger. And I'm like, well, Gerald, no, once again, that was not the breaking point. The breaking point was you allowing Jordan to, have his anger and have his, his little rant towards Jalen. Because when we really think about it and we look at it, even though everybody keeps saying, listen to the podcast, you will see the truth. But no, we watching it. We see the actions that's happening. We don't see Jalen up and angry and yelling and screaming until he felt like he was disrespected. And even still, he still was calm. We only seen Jordan acting that way. So no, stop trying to put it on both of them when it was really only one. And then that's when how you were talking about Rob. So that's when Rob basically stepped in and he was like, well, y'all keep saying that, because they brought up how Ty, said something to Cheryl. But so Rob said, well, everybody, y'all always want to talk about everybody else and y'all talk about Ty, but y'all not talking about Jordan Bentley. Every time Jordan Bentley name come up, nobody want to tell him what's the real and tell him he was wrong. And then that's when Gerald says, well, he felt like he didn't need to say anything because one, they're both were old men, and both Jordan and Jalen was wrong. And again, Gerald, you're not seeing a problem, and that's the problem. And that is the problem. Is the only reason why you're not seeing a problem is because Jordan is your friend.
And at this point, you can't host no more podcasts, because the whole point of the podcast is to discuss different points of view. So the issue was never the disagreement about the finances or anything like that. That's the point of the podcast, to bring different perspectives around one table to all talk about them. The issue was always Jordan's disrespect and how he reacted to the situation, because that conversation that we're having right now at the reunion could have easily also happened during the podcast, breaking down, no, privilege was not, I wasn't using privilege as a bad connotation. I was using it in the sense of this. Like that was a conversation that Gerald was supposed to lead during the conversation during the table at the podcast. So if you really want to go back to it, the two problems, Jalen was never the problem. The problem was always Gerald and Jordan, because Gerald, you failed as a host and a moderator of the podcast, and Jordan, you just too hot-headed, bro. Like you went on 10 and you didn't need to be on 10 because you didn't hear anything that was coming out of Jalen's mouth. And that was where the podcast fell to the floor.
Jordan was so, and you can tell how Jordan is so used to being disrespectful to probably PJ and Kofi and them, that he did the same thing to Jalen, and Jalen wasn't letting that shit go.
You wasn't on skid. You ain't about to talk to me like that.
Nah, like, and it's so crazy because they keep showing us clips, and it's just certain shit that was in the clips that we didn't see. Like even when they was arguing, and Jordan had told Jalen, like, you're not more successful. You're not successful because you don't have the same work ethic as me. And Jalen said, do you? That shit was so funny to me, but we didn't see that in the show. Bitch, I needed to see Jalen say, do you? Like, I needed to see that because I need to feel that he knew he was being disrespected.
Yeah.
And then that's when we brought
Ty, when she explains. So, well, no, we got to go to the photo shoot. So basically, everything segued after that into being, well, one, the issue was the fact that the conversation at the podcast got split into different stories told to the girlfriends. And which is why we talking about like the deleted scenes. I wish we would have also seen the scene where Gerald explained to Cheryl his side of what happened at the podcast, because we saw what Jalen told Todd how it happened. So
right.
Those two parallels and how differently those stories came across was that's the whole nucleus of why they were even arguing at the listening party. You know.
Exactly. So of course we already, like you said, we seen how Ty brought up the whole situation in Gerald, how Cheryl came in to say her little piece, and how she was told from Gerald the podcast went, and how it all was towards the end. And of course, Ty was like, well, you know, telling everybody else how Gerald is a sociopath. And now we understand the anger, because
before we get that, I think you talked about it on another episode, but they were still also talking about how disrespectful it was of Todd to do that at the photo shoot. Yo,
I honestly, truly don't. I never found a problem with it if it was literally towards the end of everybody there said the shoot was over. They was literally in the corner. Nobody can hear, nobody can see. And Cheryl wanted to be nosy and find out what her man got going on. She went over there, and that's the only reason she knew what was going on. And Cheryl didn't go over there. She wouldn't know what's going on. And she wouldn't have been as teed up as she was with the whole situation. But since she's so teed up, the reason why she teed up is because we end up going into and seeing a clip of how Gerald told her what happened at the podcast. And y'all, it was a complete and utterly. Regardless of the fact, it was a motherfucking lie.
Yeah.
Everything Gerald said to Cheryl was a lie, and of course you're gonna believe your boyfriend. No. Well, yeah, depending on the situation, sometimes you'll believe him, sometimes you won't, and sometimes you can believe him at that moment and then get to the root of what really happened. But Cheryl's not that type of person. She already believed what Gerald said, and what Gerald said was gold. So she was angry with Ty about how Ty handled everything, and that's when everything went wrong. On top of Ty calling him a sociopath.
So, like, and I guess the crazy part about this is when you framing it in the fact that this is the reunion and all of them have watched the episodes back, for you to still be this dumb and you watched the episode back and you saw what really happened, this is now when you come back to that accountability word, now you need to understand your actions was wrong to begin with. Because when you look back and see how dumb you look seeing the truth, you should be like, you should have came out the gate with an apology because you were wrong. Like, we saw the facts laid out. So Ty, like, to go back, like, Ty doing everything that she did at the photo shoot, granted, you was upset, it was your event, you felt like you was disrespected because somebody doing this at your event. If we are friends and something is on my heart, it doesn't matter when, where, time, or place. If I have to address something and we're friends, my feelings should be validated enough or valid enough for you to understand that I need to get this off my chest in a respectful manner, no matter where we are. So that was like, so are we really friends? Like, do my feelings not matter at this point?
Yeah, even at the reunion, even in the conversation with Cheryl and Gerald felt like he didn't need to let Ty know that Jalen was in an argument with Jordan, because Ty is not Jalen's mother. You motherfucking right, I'm not his mother. I'm his girl. I'm the one he sleep with at night. And beyond that, I'm your friend. So if I'm sleeping with somebody every night, this is my boyfriend, this is my man, and you my friend, I would feel like you would have enough respect and give me the courtesy of letting me know my boyfriend, who don't really know y'all like that, like he's trying to get to know y'all, is in an altercation that he felt alone in. Like, I'm telling you, my boyfriend felt alone, and you don't see that as a problem. That is what Gerald and Cheryl was not getting, and it's mind blowing to me, because even at the reunion, Gerald feel like he should not apologize, and that Ty should be apologizing to him for calling him a sociopath. Well, she said, well, okay, well, if you feel like you're not a sociopath, that's fine, but you're a liar. You're a liar at the end of the day, and we quote him again in 4K. You lied. You did. You lied. We seen what happened at the podcast. We seen what happened at the we seen everything that happened. The only thing we didn't see was the conversation, but now that we see the conversation, we really see that you really did lie. And on top of that, you told them, which we didn't even know, you told them you was not going to post their podcast, only for you to still post the damn podcast.
It honestly, and this is why I love Ty, because she stands on this wholeheartedly. It's gonna always be the principle. It always come down to that, because like you said, at the end of the day, above Jalen being her boyfriend, we're friends. The respect should have been there for me before we even get into the fact that that's my significant other. The respect should have been for me and our friendship, that you would have felt like you needed to come tell me this personally. Like she shouldn't even had to find out from Jalen, because Gerald should have called her and let her know.
Well, no, like, she should have found out from Jalen because they sleep together. So.
Yeah, I mean, but like, of course she probably gonna find it, but like she shouldn't have been waiting around on Gerald to come to her and have that conversation. He should have made for it, because one, his podcast, two, his friend.
And everybody keeps saying, well, he keeps saying like he was trying to stop it, and I seen him once or twice trying to stop it, but he really didn't put forth much effort. So if he ain't putting in no extra, I'll be like, Tessie Thomas, like, Ty, I ain't gonna lie. Jalen may come home mad because him and Jordan just got into it. Like, it's a way that he should have went about it, and he didn't do it, and he still don't see it wrong.
Which goes back to the fact that we need to take these mics out of people's hands. Everybody can't be no podcast host, because in that moment, all he had to do to de-escalate the situation was moderate the conversation. That was it.
He don't have no backbone, so he don't have no backbone. So then that's when they was arguing. Cheryl and Ty was arguing because Ty felt disrespected, and they was like, "What's Ty?" Well, she was like, "Well, you call him a sociopath, bitch."
That bitch came from the soul.
Okay, the bitch came from the soul. Like, she meant that bitch, not in a friendly manner. Like, she meant that bitch, and Ty was like, Ty got jumped up and like got bucked. I was like, oh no, Ty getting bucked.
Ty would have laid Cheryl.
I got real bucked, and she was like, "You don't call me no bitch. Like, I never called." Like, and Ty was basically saying, like, "I would never call you that." So why would you call me that? And then that's when Kimmy said, "Well, you know, she's calling you bitch. How you call her sis? Not the same. Not even on the same level." And this is why I love reality shows and reunions, because they played it back and how Ty called her sis, and Ty was very genuine in her sis, like sis.
Are they not sisters? Like
sis, like if we say we cool. Like, okay, sis, like you don't understand what I'm saying, sis. But Cheryl said bitch, like bitch, like them, that sis and that bitch was not the same. So for Kimmy to say that, I don't like how she's trying to. I think Kimmy was trying to play as a host. She was trying to, like, I guess, play both sides just so they can calm down. And this was the instance they didn't need that to happen. Yeah. Because you have to let people know when they're wrong, and Cheryl was wrong in an instant. And people was like, well, you know, people call Ty, you call people bitches all the time. Yes, I'll call people that I'm cool with, that I'm close with, bitches all the time. But if I never called you a bitch as a friendly way, as a mean way, as any type of way, don't you ever feel comfortable to do it to me.
Yeah.
Don't do it to me. Now, if I say in a friendly manner, like, okay, you get comfortable. But if I never did that to you, that's not really like my language with you. Don't you don't even feel comfortable, because remember, you said we ain't sis. So don't feel like, even if you said it in a nice way, don't call me a bitch.
Cause
bitch.
And then what Cammy proceeds to do is she separates Cheryl and Ty and says, let's go have a conversation upstairs.
Which was why. It's not even about Ty and Cheryl.
About Ty and Cheryl.
It's not. It's literally about Ty and Cheryl, but Cheryl do not have a motherfucking backbone. So he ends up not even being relevant in the situation I'm all in. It's all about him and his stance. And
I'm all for, you know, black women coming together, like all of that. But this is reality TV. There was not, like, I'm all for that, but like, I don't think as the host, she should have intervened in that situation. She should have let that situation play out like how it was supposed to play out, because at the end of the day, we never even got an apology from Gerald because of that.
Exactly. Gerald never apologized to Jalen, even though they may have been cool. They can be cool because, of course, this all is happening way after the fact. So they cool. They probably did talk about it. But at the end of the day, it got to be brought up again, because this is a reunion. As viewers, we want to see it play out, because we have to keep the story going from our end. We don't know what y'all doing behind the scenes. So the fact that we feel like Cheryl should have apologized to Jalen and he didn't, and he kept saying like both of them was wrong. How can you, even if you feel that way, I would be like, well, can y'all both apologize? Or let me apologize to both of y'all. But he did that. He didn't do that. So Cammy makes it about Cheryl and Ty, and it was never about them. But now that it is, they are having this, you know, black girl, black women conversation at the top. And like you said, I'm all for it too. As a black, beautiful goddess queen, baby. I'm all for it, but it just wasn't the time. And then within the conversation, it was quick anyways, because Ty really genuinely did not feel no way about Cheryl. Like she really did. It was more Cheryl with the problem. So of course that conversation, it was quick. Like it was a misunderstanding. Their tones was off. They felt like each other's tones was off. So they apologized. It is what it is. That's what it is. That's that. That was it. And I was like, I really didn't need that. I would have appreciated the situation with Cheryl and Ty and Jalen more than I did appreciate that. I'm sorry. Like I did not need that. But I'm glad they cool. And of course, after this reunion, you can tell like they all are on good terms.
Yeah, like Ty was saying it yesterday. Like this is why I mean no disrespect for like, I'm just saying as a viewer, I mean no disrespect to Cheryl and Gerald, but like I can't vibe with them. No matter how Ty feels with them personally on a personal level now, and Jalen, like that situation was just weird and odd to me. But she said it yesterday. They're all cool. Like the whole cast, like everybody's friends, like they all on good terms. But the reunion happened a little, like maybe 3 weeks for them. We watching it.
Right.
I ain't forgive him yet, Ty. You could have forgave him. I ain't forgive him yet.
Exactly, girl. And like I said, I'm all for people apologizing and forgiving, because that's what you're supposed to do. Once you apologize to somebody and you forgive them, okay, it's on to the next. It's not even on my mind no more. So that's fine. I understand it. But shit, I don't know. Y'all need to act differently for the reunion. Or the reunion need to be right after if y'all gonna, be the way that y'all are and not really show the sides that y'all really want to show, because now y'all friends and you don't want to end their friendship. And this is my thing with friends. If we apologize and a situation comes up again and I still have not so much feelings, but this is how every time this situation is brought up, this will be my reaction to it. I feel like that's okay. You shouldn't be, as my friend, you shouldn't be offended because we're cool. But please understand, like, this situation did hurt me. So if it's brought up, this is how I'm going to react, because I was truly hurt about it.
Yeah.
So with everything being said and done, that was kind of the end. That was the end of the reunion. An hour long of a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, it's like I said in the middle of the recap. Some stuff could have been expounded on. It didn't. That's fine. We here. Hopefully that season, if they get a next season, I'm pretty sure they'll get a next season. I feel like this show did really good.
Talking as of yesterday, they don't know yet.
Well, listen here, Issa Rae. If you do get another season, and if you do feel like you want to expand this show, Miami,
New York
or New Jersey, we're here, especially Miami. Like Miami is our hometown. Hence why Sean said he liked Miami name, because we're literally from Miami, like for real. Like we live this life. So if you want to go to Miami, we got you. But we kind of reside in New Jersey. So if you want to go there too, we're available. But ain't nothing wrong with going back home, boo.
Well, you are catch a flight, Issa. Where we going?
But overall, how did you enjoy the entire show, the entire season?
Like I said, I think the show was timely. Like it's something inspiring about seeing people your age, from different walks of life, from different levels of life, like financially, going after their dreams and going after their goals. I feel like this is the lifestyle we live like on a normal basis, and you talk to your friends about it. So to see that sort of struggle and journey play out in real time on TV for people is beautiful. Like I think that was the purpose of the show, and in that sense, it's beautiful. Like it did what it was supposed to do. I don't want to say I fell in love with all of the characters, but I like I said, I see myself in a little bit piece of me in all of the characters, which I think is the point. And I think like season 2, like I'm ready for it. I want more dope playlists from Issa. That's one thing she's gonna do. She's gonna give you a dope
Every time.
He's gonna give you a dope playlist to go with the show, and I think it was timely. I think this was what our generation needs: less messy reality TV and more like the journey, the Black experience for millennials. So I like it.
Realism, because at the end of the day, like Love and Hip Hop and Real Housewives, like that's just not our generation. Like we ain't got the money up there. We ain't getting our bodies done like that. I mean, maybe one day y'all see my body done, but you know. But realistically, like we can't relate as much as entertaining, but we can't relate with this Sweet Life. We can relate to. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed our recap. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Y'all already know what it is and how it goes down over here. Go down below in the comments and let us know your thoughts. Like this video, and last but certainly not least, subscribe. Enjoy the queendom, baby. Bye.